In today's episode of Today in World War II, February 27th, the Finns are forced to retreat into Viipuri in the face of the Soviet onslaught. A New Zealand light cruiser bags an Italian surface raider in the Indian Ocean. British paratroopers steal a top secret German radar unit from out from under the noses of the Germans. The only mass demonstration that ever took place in Germany in support of Jews takes place today. And finally, in a Keystone Cops type operation, the OSS tries to blow up railway tunnels in Italy, but unfortunately, they land in the wrong place. Let's get started. Okay, February 27th, 1940, Soviet troops launched a pincer movement, and the whole idea was to surround Viipuri. As I've mentioned in previous videos, Viipuri at the time was the provincial capital of the Karelian Isthmus, the Karelian province in Finland. It was the prize. The Soviets have been banging their head against the wall since November 30th, trying to take Viipuri, getting closer now. At this point in time, the commanding general, the Finnish troops there, he ordered his troops to fall back into defensive positions actually into Viipuri proper. They were going to basically fight house to house. Meanwhile, in another case of beating your head against the wall, thinking that the results are going to be different this time, Finland was still begging Norway and Sweden to help them in their war, but Norway and Sweden continued to say, "We are neutral and we will not assist you." Kind of like when you have a deranged killer that is in the neighborhood and it's attacking you, and that your neighbors say, "Well, we can't help you because we're neutral in this." Not not knowing that this deranged knife wielding murderer is going to turn around and go after you as soon as he finishes off with Finland, which is what happened pretty much. So again, neutrality. It's just it's useless in a sense. Pick a side, right? I want you to pick a side. All you have to do is decide to subscribe to my channel. You do that, you make me happy. World peace will finally come upon the world. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but at least it'll help me with the algorithm. So it's kind of the same thing, right? So just click the subscribe button, click the bell that says that you'll get notified. YouTube will notify you whenever I drop a new video, and we're all happy, right? Thank you. On February 27th, 1941, New Zealand, the New Zealand Navy, the New Zealand Royal Navy gets a nice little prize there. Their light cruiser HMS Leander sank an Italian surface raider off the Maldives in the Indian Ocean. It was disguised, service raiders were disguised as regular civilian freighters. They didn't show they had a gun. And the Leander saw the ship, was suspicious, said, "Hey, we want to inspect you." But as soon as the Italians knew the jig was up, they raised the Italian flag, unfurled or uncovered their surface weapon, their gun, their artillery, and they started shooting at the Leander. Well, a light cruiser is going to knock off a um, surface raider any day of the week, which is what happened. And about 150 of the Italian sailors were killed, 100 were rescued, and they would spent the rest of the war in New Zealand eating mutton. And I guess the Italians like sheep too, but for me that would have been torture had to eat mutton. I like lamb, but not mutton. Anyway, but what I do like more so than lamb, lot more than mutton, is for you to like this video and leave a comment because it's important to help me. Because you know what? You're reading my stuff, you're watching my stuff. Why not support it? There's no money involved. Just do these two simple things, and it will help me so much, and I appreciate it. Okay? Thank you. The British paratroopers this day, February 27, 1942, had a great day. They dropped a brigade, the 1st Parachute Brigade, dropped into French territory, French occupied territory near Havre. and they stole a top secret German radar unit out from under the Germans' noses. It was great raid. They only lost like three paras in the process. They dropped in by parachute. They escaped by sea, and this allowed British scientists to understand the secrets of their radar, and it allowed them to be able to bypass a lot of that, block it, and it played a significant role in reducing the British losses against the German night fighters. So that was a great successful raid that the paratroopers did there. Sometimes those commando slash paratrooper raids didn't always work, but a lot of them did, and that certainly made it worthwhile. On February 27, 1943, the only public mass demonstration in the war in Germany in support of Jews happened on this date. Boy, February 27, 1943, that's really deep into the war. It's interesting. Now, what happened? What started this? Well, the Gestapo decided that, you know, they wanted more Jews, right? They wanted the exempted Jews, the ones that were married to a non-Jew, or maybe they were half and half. They were trail mix. One parent was a Gentile, one was a Jew, and so they just started to go after them. But this led to a week-long protest by the non-Jewish family members, most of whom were women. Okay, and it actually had an effect. It really did. It just makes you wonder, you know, so many people just acquiesced and they didn't, that poem about how first they came for the communists and I didn't resist because I wasn't a communist, and then they came after the trade union and I wasn't a trade member of union, and so on and so forth, until there's nobody left to go after, to help me. Kind of the same situation. Too many people are acquiescing to authoritarianism and fascism in this world, what's happening now. And I think that there's lessons to be learned in history, but isn't it a coincidence that they don't teach history anymore in schools? Think about that. And finally, on February 27, 1944, the OSS, the United States Office of Strategic Services, which was the precursor to the CIA, they attempted to blow up railway tunnels in Italy to disrupt German communication lines. But they almost did it, and they probably would have been able to do that had they landed in the right place. Yeah, they didn't land where they needed to go to. There were no tunnels there, and it didn't end well for them. The OSS, eh, what can I say? What can I say? They left a great heritage for the CIA. Let's put it that way. All right, well, that's it for me for this day. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will talk to you and see you tomorrow.